Hello. Mason's giving it away. You're not frozen, motherfucker.
Mason, shh.
Mason, keep talking.
They're probably about to go upstairs. All right. We got this thing going live yet? It still says schedule on my side.
No, it's live.
It's live? All right, cool. All right. So, we did not have an episode last week. Sorry, that is on a little bit of my part. I had a death in the family. Fuck cancer. For those of y'all that have dealt with that before, that's just how it's going to be. But yeah, so this week we are back finally live again. And we're going to talk about some racing, some pretty good racing, in fact. Are we going to roll even the intro for this one? I know this is going to be about a 30 to 45 minute podcast, so y'all don't have to get all left behind or anything. But,
yeah.
All
Put that
right.
new intro in, dog.
All right, let's roll it.
God bless America, and gentlemen, start your engine!
Still down there. Still down there.
Still outside corner, your number one.
Was out. Hell was out. Vanessa just about outwrecked him. And then she busted her ass.
What's up, everybody?
What up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Glad to be back. Fuck cancer. I'll keep saying it all.
What up, Dalton?
What up? We got Dalton already in here. We got Pittman already in here. Thank y'all so much. I don't know why my internet is already not showing that we're even live.
Yeah,
but
right.
Yeah, whatever. I can't even tell them who in here. But yeah, Free Noah wearing the Gregson hat this time. Definitely had to. What's up, David Mons? How you doing?
What's up, David?
There you go. Good. You got to add them on because I'm running
What's
off.
up, Pittman?
So Andy lives out in BFE. His internet is not the best. We've already seen. I've switched over to just using my cell phone because my internet's not the best because I also live in BFE. So we're going to try to keep this nice, short, and sweet for y'all because Michigan has a lot of fun to talk about here, as well as before Michigan even started. So I feel like we got to start with Noah because obviously that happened before we even hit the weekend, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it happened Saturday morning-ish, I believe it was, before practice because Josh Berry got in the car. But yeah, let's talk about Noah because that's a fucked up situation.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously this happened back in May. So sometime in May, this meme was created, and it's under the knee. It's a little spoof going on
Under the knee.
And he just liked it. That's it. He just liked it. You got Hamlin who created one, putting Larson on it. Actually created a meme, and just had to go to sensitivity training. And Noah just liked it. I don't know about you, but whenever I'm going through and watching videos and stuff, I just start liking stuff, and I'm not even paying attention. I don't even care what it is. It's just like.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm sure Noah is doing the exact same thing. It's more or less the fact that, and we talked about this, that he probably should have had a burner account. I know a lot of drivers do have burner accounts for that exact reason because social media is the root of all evil.
And I want to start off with it right here. I don't think this is just random. We get a report that, hey, they're talking about parting ways with Noah at Legacy. And lo and behold, something gets dug up from May. And now they can cancel his contract because there's always verbiage and all these things of actions detrimental to the company or to the sport that they can void that contract. So now they can basically get out of this thing scot-free. And John Hunter Nemechek can get right into this car next year with them switching to Toyota. So I don't know. Am I a conspiracy theorist? What do you think?
I think there's a little shadiness that's going on there. Look, I think that we can't judge Noah on his performance this year. It's been a lame duck year. So I think Legacy was just looking for the easy out. And we know who brought the attention to this. We're not going to call out any names on here, but there's two parties involved in this. One pleading completely innocent because he was just doing his job. The other person is just we'll leave it at a snowflake. But yeah, so I think Legacy found the easy way out to get rid of Noah. It's pretty shitty for NASCAR to go ahead and suspend him too, because I don't see how what he liking a meme of all things is detrimental to the sport.
And they immediately went straight to indefinite suspension. Like they
Oh
went
yeah,
indefinite, and then NASCAR was like, "Yeah, we support it. We'll go indefinite as well." They didn't try to stand behind him whatsoever. Didn't try to make a team post with him on there whatsoever. They literally just jumped right into, hey, indefinite suspension. So there's too much behind it to me that stinks. This is from back in May. This is just, it doesn't make any sense. Noah, we've met Noah a couple times. He's a good dude. Like, I don't see him doing this out of malicious, but not even using that. The presidents that's out there right now doesn't make any sense for an indefinite suspension. Literally,
I mean, you look at what NASCAR's already done as far as basically castrating all these drivers. If you go out and you intentionally wreck somebody and you admit to it, that's a fine, that's a suspension, whatever it is. We saw it with Chase earlier this year. So that's one thing on the racetrack. But now it is carried over to social media of all things. You know,
yeah.
a driver, again, they should all have burner accounts. But still, should
Now,
Noah have been a little bit more you know, should Noah have I don't know, been more conscious of what, he was doing? That's to be left up. But look, Noah is like the biggest personality the sport has right now, and now he's out.
yeah, and we don't know if he's coming back. Now, I want to touch on this. So Dalton said all social media likes should be private, honestly. So when you look at like Twitch, if you go into watching some of them watch their games, all these games have this mode you can go into for like stream mode, where it basically jumbles up the names, puts different user faces on there to where people don't know and can't stream snipe, as they call it. They should have some kind of mode for these things where if you can register for it, that your likes are private. That's something worth paying for. I mean, especially when you look at Twitter Blue and all the things that go with it, like you should be able to pay a thing, especially for a celebrity, and make all your likes private to where this doesn't even have to be a problem, because this is stupid. If
Yeah.
someone's going to look through likes, I can guarantee you I've liked some things that are questionable, not even meaning to.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Instagram of all things, there's so much on Instagram, good and bad and questionable and dark humor, everything that goes along with it. And what Noah liked was dark humor. And, I guarantee you that everybody that's come across that meme probably, maybe had a little bit of offense to it, but a lot of people, no, they probably laughed at it, chuckled at it. I mean, I thought it was hilarious, but I'm gonna have to do sensitivity training and reinstate him. Yeah, I mean they're gonna have to, but right now he's suspended. Like he's gonna have to get on the road to recovery. So they say. I mean, same thing that Larson did. But hey, touching on that thing too about how Twitter Blue and all that, I think anybody, especially that's an athlete, public figure, whatever it is, they're already verified on all social platforms, correct? I mean, you look at Instagram, they have the blue check mark. You look at Twitter, X, whatever it's called now, they're verified on there. So every celebrity, every athlete, everybody out there that is a known figure is verified. Exactly what you're saying. They should already have their tweets, likes, all that stuff muted to where whatever they liked, you can't see it, because it's exactly what has happened. And Elon even put out, a statement earlier this week talking about if you've had any ill, effects from our platform, we'll cover your legal bill.
That was timed a little weird, but
I don't think it was directed towards Noah.
It can't be, because that was on Instagram. This is on Twitter. So I don't.
Well, it was on Instagram, but the person that ratted him out was on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, technically, the person that ratted him out that ended it was through correspondence and all the crap behind it. But
I'll go ahead and say it was Daniel McFadden.
Yeah, doing his job.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand why they're doing here. This, to me, Noah's had the worst year you could possibly have in a race car. He has done everything to try to keep his spirits up. He has done the personality part. He's done everything else that you can ask of him to do in such a crappy ride. this ride, Josh Berry didn't even finish the race. He wrecked. He wasn't running well to begin with of the race. And yeah, he made up a couple positions at the very, very beginning before he wrecked, but it was not the fastest car. It was nowhere near a fast car.
Mm-hmm.
He probably would have finished around the same place Noah finishes. There's no support. Chevy has already turned that faucet off. So now you add on top of all this, his shitty year, and now all of a sudden you suspend him indefinitely with what seems like no support.
Yeah. So, I mean, my question going into this now is that if Noah is able to be reinstated back into NASCAR, what does that do to his personality? Because we already know exactly what kind of person he was, on and off the track prior to this. Is this going to pretty much castrate him? And I mean, the rocking the, fire suit zipped open, whatever it is, looking like Tim Richmond, the bowl cut, all of that stuff. Is that going to go away now?
I think it has to, because he knows that he will now be on that fine line. And if he does one thing bad, he will be canceled forever. Yeah. It's going to be hard for him to get back in a cup ride next year. There was already
it's going to be hard for him to get back at all, I think.
Yeah, because he's had a terrible year so far. Now, you look in, we've talked about how Brandon Jones is possibly already leaving JRM, going back to JGR through rumors that we have heard. But it's this whole thing is kryptonite to sponsors and everything else. And if he doesn't bring any money, I don't think he can get back in even an Xfinity ride. So, I'm hoping he can, if at worst that happens. But I want him back in a Cup car.
So you look at what happened to Kyle in 2020. Obviously dropping the hard R is much worse than what Noah has done. In my opinion, I think everybody would agree dropping the hard R is like the worst thing you can do, at least on a social platform, whatever it is, whether you're streaming, whatever. Now, what Noah did, it's questionable, definitely to certain people, but that doesn't take away from the fact that Kyle, he had, he's that generational talent. So Rick Hendrick can go out there, fund him, put his name on the side of the car. What Kyle did, it's amazing. But do you think that Noah has the exact same talent and the same opportunities that Kyle had? I don't think so. I think it's going to be harder for Noah to come back. Even if he gets reinstated, I think he's kind of at this point, damaged goods. Somebody's going to have to put some money on the table to bring him back. Whether it's Johnny Morris at Bass Pro Shops, he could throw back in there. Who knows?
And for them with their brand, this is going to be some brands are going to be out there trying to figure out what they can do here. And there's unfortunately not much until it dies down, which I haven't really heard that much other than people saying free Noah and, what's going on. Why is Noah being treated this way? I haven't really heard an outpouring of, oh, Noah needs to be kicked out forever. It was there at first, obviously, but definitely nothing as big as Denny's, not as big as Larson's, obviously. I don't know. And
yeah, I mean, I would put what Denny did with the Asian Family Guy meme against Kyle Larson on Twitter last year after Talladega. I would put that higher than what Noah did.
Yeah.
But just a slap on the wrist. Yes, he did do sensitivity training, but it's a third party that handles the sensitivity training too. So it's not, it's just snowflakes being snowflakes.
Yeah, you can't say stuff. There is no freedom of speech anymore. There is no freedom to be yourself, especially in NASCAR. They can cancel everything but the rain. What about him going to eventually? Talking about Noah, or are you talking about?
Yeah, talking about Noah. I mean, I've heard, I forget who said it. I saw something on social today talking about there was a possibility that, hey, what about Noah going to Stewart-Haas next year? Depends if you can bring money. I mean, Stewart-Haas is already funding 2 or 3 drivers.
Yeah. I mean, it's not great for anything right now. Like I said, it's unfortunately.
It's going to have to blow over.
The way
I think Noah's going to have to do the same, kind of route that what Kyle did as far as going out in the community, showing that, he's able to learn and better himself versus, what he was before. So.
I agree with that. All right. Well, hopefully the best for Noah. He's our boy. He signed the bus. We love him, support him. But let's move on into Michigan itself. What a great weekend. Other than, I think they said this is the 17th NASCAR event impacted by rain
this year. That's insane. I know it's up there. I don't know what the exact number was, but we've been on such a good roll here recently as far as the racing and everything. And rain has come in and dampered a lot of stuff.
Pittman, I love you.
Pittman in the chat. That's all I gotta.
Thank goodness we're his filter, guys. Y'all are welcome. We're his filter right now.
I mean the icon right there. That just tells you everything you need to know. Profile pic.
Just gives
that's the profile pic I need for the group chat.
Oh man. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so Michigan was a fantastic race. Yesterday and today.
Oh, I mean, talk about a race that from the get-go, the practice, the qualifying, there was just everything going on. Obviously, the drama with Noah going on, everything behind the scenes going with it too. It just was shaping up to be this race, knowing that, hey, we could be impacted by weather. We're not sure if we're going to get the full race in, and then doing what we can. Knowing that you got Chase Elliott, who some people still thought could point his way in, and I've kind of been
happening now.
That there is absolutely no way that's happening, and that's what's crazy about this race. From the get-go, before stage one was even done, some of the biggest names that were in a lot of our fantasies were out of the race already.
Oh yeah, I would
instantly. It felt like.
Yeah, I would say that within the first stage, two of my picks were already three of my picks were already out because I had. Oh, I gotta go back and look.
You had Byron.
I had Chase and Byron.
Didn't you have Busch too?
Yes, that was it. I had Kyle Busch. He wrecked like on lap 10.
Yeah, and then you had Bell too, which I had Bell, but I also had Buescher, Denny Hamlin, and a couple others to kind of wade me through the storm. I'll tell you what, too. These Fords have caught on at the right
time.
Yeah,
they found some speed.
This is good. And knowing what we're walking into IRP, Fords didn't do bad there last year either. So they are picking up at the right time. I can't be, any happier than what's going for RFK. I'm not even an RFK fan. I'm not a Roush fan. I'm a Ford fan. Ford Mustang, I own a Ford Lightning. I've been in the Ford family forever. But when it came to racing, Ford just never really seemed to be putting a name out there other than you got guys like Harvick. And that was it. But right now, what Brad has done over there at RFK.
Yeah. So Chase, just to touch on Chase real quick, Chase is 22nd in points now. He's 55 below the cut. I don't see him at all being able to nickel and dime his way in there like what David's saying.
Yeah, he can't point in. There's absolutely no way that he can point in for this. He has to win, and I don't think it happens. I'm calling it right now. And I've said it since the beginning of the year, he's going to win the Roval, and that's not going to matter because it's already in the playoffs. So he's not making it in, and he will not be in the playoffs. That's going to hurt viewership, which sucks because there's so many people just going.
Yeah, it's going to be the Chase effect.
I think it's right.
Yeah. 2 straight years college gets taken out early at Michigan. It fucking sucks. I know it does. I was high on KFB this weekend. I thought he definitely had a chance. He had the speed there, and I was like you, Dalton. I was pretty upset there as soon as that happened. As soon as I saw him, because they went to commercial, it happened, and I had Kyle Larson's onboard up, and Kyle was right behind KFB, and of course, I saw him spin. I'm like, oh, let me go ahead and change my fantasy out real quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fantasy probably changed a bunch. I got lucky with who I chose for it, which, by the way, I've caught you. So all that far ahead that you were, I'm beating you in the 3-buddy chat, and I'm right there at the doorstep in the other chat. So you're welcome. I don't know if it's fully calculated all of them, but I calculated it with the new scores from this past weekend in there.
I'm looking.
Yeah, I'm right there at you. So can't wait.
You're almost 100 points behind me.
No, it hasn't calculated this last race in there yet.
Yes, it has.
Oh, well, it didn't look like it when I did it. Damn it. I still got another 100 to go because I beat you by 100 points in both fantasies.
Yeah.
You pansy.
Yeah.
It's because you suck. Sucks to suck.
You did beat me pretty good this weekend, but I had a horrible.
everyone wrecked. I mean, even me. I had Christopher Bell, and he was obviously out, so it didn't really work out that well.
I had I had Ty Gibbs, Buescher.
Win. So glad.
I had Ty Gibbs and Buescher, and they helped me quite a bit. And then Bell, Bell, he backed into the wall.
Yeah.
In stage 2, I think it was, right?
Yep.
It was yesterday, and I was, Jesus Christ, here goes the 3rd or 4th pick in my fantasy. And I was watching the race today at work, and I saw where Christopher had come back, and he was like 13th or 14th in running position. I'm like, holy shit!
And that's after he had to get sent to the back because he had it was either speeding or equipment over the wall. So like he had to go back to the back again before we even got to the end of the race, and he managed to get his way all the way back up into 13th. So great job for Christopher Bell. I thought he was done. I don't know what happened and who cursed Hendrick Motorsports, but really, other than Larson, it looked like a Stuart Haas graphic, or it's you got
it was terrible.
Yeah, you got Harvick, and then everyone else is like 32nd, 33rd, 34th. That's exactly what it was like.
So Chase had a tire go down. That's kind of out of his control. But Byron, that was so weird. It just coming to the green and white, walled it, destroyed it.
Got tight. Looks like he got up into the bad resin, is what Denny was saying, and just toasted the car. And that's what's crazy. It didn't look like that hard of a hit. It's amazing that Christopher Bell's hit he could come back from, but William Byron's hit he couldn't.
They had to bent something.
Harder.
They had to bent something pretty bad there on Byron's car, where Bell, he just backed into the wall. Which what they've done as far as modifying the rear of these cars to crush better. Hey, we're seeing it. These cars are crumpling like the old Gen 6 car. They even talked about it on the broadcast. So at least hats off to NASCAR for that. And I thought Bell was done. I thought he was going to be out of the race for sure. But hey, good for him.
Hey, good for him. It worked out.
Dalton said earlier, like I said 1,000 times, if Chase doesn't win at Watkins Glen, start getting ready for 2024. I honestly feel like, too, even if Chase wins and gets in the playoffs, he's not going to be competitive. He hasn't shown competitive speed all year. Sure, he could get hot for the last 10 races, but I don't see it. Even if he gets in, I see him getting out in round of 12. He may make it to round 8, but he's not making it to 4.
The playoff point deficit for him is just going to be so mad.
Exactly.
It's just it's not going to work out for him. He's not making it this year. He doesn't deserve to be in it this year. And this is coming from an ex-Chase fan. I still got his stuff. I still got his gear, his hats, his shirts. I still support him, but he ain't making it. He shouldn't. He's having a bad year. Not sure why, but it's just not a good year. It's been a bad year since the beginning. He just did stupid things. Chase is not that great of a racer or person overall. He's still a good racer. Don't get me wrong. But when you actually go to races and see him and interact and see how lacking his personality is, William Byron is overshadowing the shit out of him this year.
Did you see, hopefully, did you see that meme?
No.
Yeah, I saw it earlier today, and I laughed my ass off at it. This is the truest thing ever because, again, 300 cars DNF'd, and then old Kyle hung in there.
He's doing what he can, man. He's trying. The dude's digging.
Yeah, he's checkers or records, it seems like this year.
I think, is it safe to say Martin Truex is going to win the regular season championship now?
I think so. I still think it's going to be close, but Martin's good at the road courses. He's good at Watkins Glen too. So
very good at Watkins Glen.
I think the only wild card in all of this is going to be Daytona, which I'm pumped for.
I think Daytona is going to be a magnificent race, and we're going to get a new winner. I don't know why I feel that way, but I feel like we're going to get a new winner at Daytona.
I think we are too, and I'm really hoping it's Bad Brad.
I'm calling it now. That's my pick for Daytona. It's Bad Brad. Just calling it.
Well, we're for it again. We can't pick Daytona yet. Come on,
man.
So you said that Martin Truex probably has it already locked up. Let's talk about how bad fucking fast his car was today.
Dude, that was insane. The fact that he pitted right there before, at that caution and right at the end of stage 2, and then won stage 2.
I was coming back to work and I was listening to the race on SXM, and the calls that they were saying, I was like, God damn, I wish I was watching this right now, because I was watching like the ticker on my truck. It was showing like the running order, the top 5, and I just saw 19 and 5th, 19 and 4th, 19 and 3rd, 19 and 2nd. I'm like, Jesus Christ, there's like 2 laps to go. Is he coming? And sure enough,
it was insane. Like, I was watching it, and it was literally straightaways. He was getting straightaways to get in line, then he'd get to the bottom side, and then he would just dive underneath everyone. And it was just like, do. All right, there's 3. Next turn, do. There's another 3. Like, he just kept just knocking them off and off and off. If there was a ding for every time he passed somebody, it would sound like Morse code was going off. I mean, it was insane how he was driving and how fast that car was. But it wasn't enough.
it was the whole clean air situation. Obviously, Martin had the fastest car. He had the field licked. Same thing happened with Allgaier, in the Xfinity race. He had the fastest car, dominated, and didn't come home with the win. So free air or clean air is, it's very important. NASCAR's tested that up-down splitter or whatever they're calling it. And they said they had promising results in the wind tunnel, and then they go to Richmond and test it after Richmond race. And I don't know if there's any hope for that.
So I just want to bring up something real quick, talking about Indy road courses next week. So did you hear that they're testing a new short track package at the Indy Oval?
At the Indy Oval or IRP?
At the Indy Oval.
That makes no sense.
They are testing no spoiler, which all of us have been talking about, but they still need more horsepower. But they're testing no spoiler with with that bottom pan removed. They're doing that same thing. They're testing that. Bob already reported it. Whenever they finished and concluded at Richmond, or wherever they just were, I think it was Richmond, NASCAR announced they were going to test no spoiler with no underpan at the Indy Oval.
I don't understand that.
That makes absolutely no sense for NASCAR to do that. I don't understand where they think that's a good idea. Test it at a short track. And then also give us 1,000 horsepower. Give us 900 horsepower. I'll concede from you.
I want to float this question by you, or this proposal or whatever. So I didn't watch a lot of it, but I watched a little bit of the Nashville Grand Prix, the IndyCar race, Sunday, waiting for the Cup race to start. Yeah. And they have, I don't keep up with IndyCar, and I definitely don't keep up with Formula One, but I know that Formula One has their DRS, their drag reduction system. I know that IndyCar has like a push to pass setup to where I guess they have more boost or something from the turbos on their engines.
Yeah.
Let's hypothesize. Is there a future that you see NASCAR having like some kind of push to pass that's very limited and would help in these situations where the leader is, maybe not the fastest, but give it to Truex or whoever it is that, they could go out and clean that air up and get that pass?
Absolutely not. Where would you use it at Bristol? When would you stop pushing the button? You would just let it keep auto engaging as you're pressing.
Well, so it would bring in strategy, because it's just like an IndyCar, it's limited. So they only have a set amount of time throughout the entire race they can use it. Give them 5 uses of it throughout an entire race.
It would have to be at super speedways or mile and a half. It could not be at short tracks.
Well, I'm not saying short tracks. I'm talking about tracks where we saw dirty air come into play today. Truex, again, fastest car, couldn't get past Buescher. So do they implement something like that in the future because this up down splitter, it's not working. And the dirty air situation, I know that they're trying their best with it and everything, but look, we've got this new engine package that's on the horizon. It's a hybrid technology. I wouldn't write it off.
I don't think they can. I think it needs to be give us more power. And that's it. Just give us more power. I don't want temporary power. I want permanent power. Give it to us, to the wheels, make it greasier. That's what we need. We need people to have to freaking wheel the cars, not these things on rails, because that's what we're getting right now.
We didn't see cars on rails today.
Not today. That's the nice part about Michigan. The mile and a halves and some of these are like, They're putting up some good things.
Well, I don't know what it was today that was different than last year's Michigan race or even the Gen 6 cars, that this race was fantastic. Everybody was on edge. Yeah, there was a couple guys that had full confidence in their cars. Truex was one of them. But they're running 600 horsepower and they're still spinning out. They're still I don't think that in certain situations that horsepower is going to make a difference in those, I don't know, clean air, dirty air leaders out front. Martin Truex is right behind him. How do you get Martin by him? Is 900 horsepower going to make the difference in that? I don't know if it will or not. It's the air situation. It's aero.
Aero is definitely a key piece because the horsepower is going to mainly be short tracks. That's where it's going to be its biggest impact and its biggest. That's where you're going to see the biggest bang for your buck.
I think if you fix the horsepower at road courses and short tracks, that definitely increases the racing. What we see as far as racing and passing and all of that. But intermediates, I'm not sure you want to mess with the intermediate package right now, is what we're seeing.
Well, yeah, the 1.5 miles, we ain't got to touch it. I'm talking about just specifically, I want horsepower for short tracks and road courses. When it gets to super speedways, you can't give it that horsepower because they don't want to give it that speed. And I agree with that because of how fast they're going at these tracks. Michigan, you give them any more speed, and you're encroaching up there with Talladega and how bad, like, someone wrecks at those speeds, even going faster than what they're currently going. And that's bad news bears, no matter how much aero they got on these cars. So I don't think it's speed related to those. I think the horsepower is mainly for, like I said, the road courses, the short tracks. They got to be able to pedal the car, not just hold it to the floor, bang through the gears, make a mistake, downshift, keep going. It's just boring. That is not giving us good product. Michigan, great product. They were able to get in line on straightaways, then dive underneath when it came to any of the turns. I mean, everyone was doing it all day long. And if you got a good run going, you could pass 2-3 cars. But if you got hung out to dry once it came back to the straightaway, you were losing 2-3 spots. So there was a great chess match going back and forth. At one point, Denny Hamlin was passing Truex, and instead of helping Truex, he literally dove underneath him even more to go 3 wide. And then all of a sudden, Denny went back 3-4 spots because then he got hung out to dry. So I think it's short tracks, road courses. Michigan was great. Don't mess with it. 1.5 miles are great. Don't mess with it. Super speedways, something aero related. Don't know what else.
I know that super speedways, we're not going to talk about the super speedway package, but when it comes to intermediates, the air is the problem. So every intermediate you see, Nova, stop. Mason started it. Mason started it. Nova, come here. So at intermediate tracks, Charlotte, Michigan, Kansas, those type of tracks, clean air is still king, correct? You would agree?
Yep, correct.
So NASCAR's been trying this up-down splitter. Obviously, it's not working, but they're trying to make it a disadvantage or even it out to where the leader has more drag on the car, and it essentially nullifies the clean air.
Well, that was the split.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. Okay, I thought you said spoiler. I don't know why.
No.
My bad.
So just real quickly, if the guy behind the leader, they're obviously in that dirty air, that weight, if they're able to, Nova, stop, God damn it. If they're able to reduce the drag in some type of way, whether it's driver initiated, remember back in the Gen 6 car, we had the adjustable track bar. I mean, drivers had a little bit of adjustment there. If the drivers could adjust, whether it's drag in the car, I think that increases, our odds of, getting some more passes against the leader in those situations.
See, Austin Dillon was just a man above his time. He already tried that with the adjustable wing nuts on the back for the wing.
That's not adjusting it in race. I'm talking about in race.
In race, they could have reached in there and just turned it by hand because it was reverse threaded.
In a pit stop. But I'm talking about like in the middle of the race. If you're chasing down the leader, you're a second and a half back, and you start getting within a second or so. That's when that wake happens. adjust the drag on the car somehow.
I don't know what they can do. I think 1.5 miles is good enough right now. Don't fuck with it. That's just my opinion. Don't mess with it. Leave it as it is. Go after short track. Make short track road courses great again. Because right now, that is the stinkiest thing that we watch out here. Super speedways is second to that. So fix what we need to fix first, then we can worry about everything else.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about our winner real quickly before we make our picks, because we kind of glossed over this. RFK, back to back.
Back to back. And this one, and someone mentioned it in the broadcast, and they were talking about when RFK runs good, it's RFK runs good.
Yeah,
Brad,
it's not just Buescher or just Brad.
it's not one or it's literally both of them are vying for the win. Now, right now, it looks like Buescher's edging him out. I can't be happier. I mean,
Brad would have won Richmond last week if it wasn't for a bad pit stop.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100% there. And I'm so happy that Brad went in to Roush, who had became almost a nobody in this. I mean, they were basically the legacy, and now all of a sudden they're making a name for themselves. He could end up being part owner of a championship team after just what, 3 years, 2.5, 3 years, two. Yeah. So I mean,
a little over a year and a half right now.
A little over a year and a half. Yeah. So there we go. So, I mean, that's phenomenal. Congratulations to them. Congratulations for the structure and the cleanliness that Brad brought into that building. Because that's what I've heard a lot of, is that he brought a lot of structure in there. Like, hey, we're not going to let our building, our shop, our everything look like this. Top scale. Yeah. We're not running a dump here. We're running a professional race team. Let's look like it. It is working on and off the track.
Yeah. I've become the last couple of weeks, well, ever since RFK started running better, which has been this entire year, I've just been keeping my eye on them, and I'm like, dang man, they got a chance to make a run here. I don't know, Final Four, but I think there's a good possibility, especially now with Chris getting 2 wins, all the playoff points he's kind of stacking up. I think Chris has got a chance to make it to the round of 8 for sure.
He does too, and I'll tell you this, I really hope Noah makes it back into a Cup car. But if he does not, and next year, obviously, with Harvick retiring, you might be looking at a Buescher fan. It's going to be Martin Truex or Buescher. Martin Truex was always my third behind Harvick, and since he's running another year, I feel like I have to go that way. But I'm tired of picking someone that retires every freaking 5 years.
Well, so, Chris has got the talent, and he's showing it, and it takes a good car, and he's got a good car and a good team around him now. So.
And a good personality. He showed as well. But when he went on DBC last year, I think it was last year, or Dale Jr. Download, when he went on that, like, dude's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Down Texas.
Yeah. Texas guy.
Christopher Buescher.
I fucking hate it when they call him Christopher Buescher. It's so annoying.
Now they just do it because Dale. That's the only reason.
I think they're just that stupid at this point.
Also possible.
So annoying. All right, we're going to Indy Road Course this weekend. Let's make our Cup picks for that.
All right, so we're going just straight Cup.
Yeah. You're taking too long. AJ Allmendinger. That's my pick.
Ever since he chose not to qualify and race in the Xfinity Series, I don't want him making the playoffs. If you're there and do something,
I agree with that. I think that's the most fucked up situation ever, that a team would rather go trophy hunting than get in the playoffs in top 16 in points, because we all know that the top 16 has a substantial increase in payout for the owners. Why as an ownership would you be like, hey, let's put AJ, our best shot at making the Cup playoffs, into a Xfinity race halfway across the country? That's just
makes no sense.
Absolutely no sense. Denny and Actions Detrimental grilled his ass. I didn't listen to Dale Jr. Download or anything that week.
So I'm going forward here, and I'm really trying to pick between, because I want to say Cindric, but I don't want to say Cindric. I would rather say McDowell. I would love to see McDowell win. He finished 8th last year there, surrounded by a bunch of Fords. But I want to say a Ford wins it, and I want to say it's going to be McDowell.
McDowell's
Or
a solid pick.
I mean, he's. I think he can do it. I think this could be his chance to get that other win in here for this year, and that's why I'm going to go with him. If not, I'm going to pick Cindric as a backup winner for my second.
Oh, we're making 2 picks now.
I'm going for 2. You know, we're getting near the end of the year.
You want to do it like what Chairgating does, where they have their lock and what do they call the other one?
The
underdog or whatever.
Underdog, yeah, they're underdog. Yeah, we can do that because Cindric definitely would be an underdog for this year.
Okay. Well, I got AJ. I think you put AJ. Damn, how do you put AJ? Because they're in kind of a shitty car, but he's not really an underdog when it comes to road courses.
If you don't pick who I think you should pick, I'm going to be so upset with you.
Honestly, I'm kind of looking at Buescher.
See, I'm not picking Buescher. Harrison Burton. That would be my third.
Why Harrison?
He finished third there.
Yeah, but you also got to know that was a shit show race last year, just like it is going to be this year too.
100%.
It's all attrition.
If we're going like underdog, like that's a fucking underdog. Like
Harrison,
Buescher,
yeah.
underdog.
Harrison,
yeah. Harrison's an underdog.
Yeah.
Like Cinder's an underdog. Harrison.
So like I had said the other day, I said after the Richmond win with Buescher, I was like, he's not done yet. I mean, he can go to the road courses where he's run good at road courses. So he can go road courses and sneak in a win, which is very possible. So we got 2 road courses back to back, and then Daytona. They're also super speedway racers. RFK's got probably the best super speedway package with his nuts over there. So look, I think Buescher could riddle off 2 more wins possibly.
It's possible, but I think his teammate starts winning a little bit here too. So I'm excited to see.
I'd love to see it.
Will they ever go back to the true Indy Oval
next year?
Yeah,
I think they're already planning on next year for sure.
Testing on the Indy Oval. Why would they not go back to it?
Yeah.
So
I'd love to see this car on the Indy Oval. I think it would put a great package, great race on.
Yeah, 100%. Well,
all right.
I think that ends us out. You got anything else?
I don't.
So, sorry guys for the inconsistency. Not much going on social media. As I said, I have not really felt like doing much. Have not felt like being on social, doing all these kind of things. Again, fuck cancer. If you're going through it, if you know anyone that's going through it, I mean, both of us can we understand. So best of luck to anyone out there fighting the good fight. Thank y'all for everything. And that's all I got. Make sure you support our sponsors if you want to. You got Kanga coolers down here. The Fascar 10 to get 10% off on any of the coolers. You just zip it right into it. You don't even need ice. It's great. But that's all I got. So until next time, see ya.
See you guys. We appreciate it.